Hi, welcome to The Truth of Tal Isaac. I'm Tal.
I'm Isaac.
Episode number 115 coming at you today. Oh, those Detroit Lions. Michigan football and some NBA quick hits. We're a little pumped up because the Lions game just finished a couple hours ago.
Yeah, we will be fired up for the next until Thursday.
For sure we'll be fired up until Thursday.
Okay, go ahead.
Quick off the top stuff. Napoleon movie. It's the Gladiator prequel, and we're looking forward to that on Tuesday.
Yep, I have that written down as well. We were watching the Lions game, and they just played an awesome 30-second teaser. And I knew the movie was coming out, and I was excited for it. But they played a 30-second clip where it made me want to text my buddy, Braden, made me want to text him, when are we going? Before I could send the text.
Cousin Braden's like, man, that looks good.
I got the text saying, when are we seeing Napoleon? So we're going opening night, advanced screening Tuesday, potentially with Pedro, so it'll be a good
And we should dress up.
Yeah, we're going to dress as Napoleon.
That's a little tougher.
Okay.
Let's invite our short friends.
No, Braden's 5'4", so that's fine.
No, Braden's 5'9".
He's probably 5'8", but we'll call him 5'4". Okay, Napoleon, we'll let the folks know how it is. It's going to be great.
Okay, Granny's party. Just a couple of the takeaways. Yeah. Good content.
Okay, first you have to fill the folks in.
Yeah, so Isaac's granny, and we all call her Granny. My mom, Dr. Helen Martin, turned 80 years old a couple of Saturdays ago. So we had a bash at our house. It was lots of people, beers, wine, good snacks. And the takeaways were, Granny had a good time. It was a good party. Isaac is 7 feet tall, and there's two of them. Several people said, who's that tall boy? The boys, there's two of them. I said, well, no, there's one. And it's Isaac, my son. No, there's two of them. Okay, perhaps you're wrong. Maybe I do have two sons that are 7 feet tall, and I'm not aware of them.
So when they're respectfully, they're all 4'6", right? So which is totally cool. But I'm 6'1". It's
towered over them.
It's so there was the
and the average age was about 72.
It's a fair amount of gray hair.
That's factoring in you being 20.
Yeah. I was the outlier in the data for sure. But it was a rager. What else do you have to say about Granny's party?
Anne's a beast.
Anne was one of Granny's dogs. Respect, Anne. Got through it. Respect. Okay. Yeah. What else? That's enough there.
That's good Granny content.
Yeah, it was a banger at Granny's. Yeah. And it was just I was fired up.
Yeah. Okay, happy birthday, Granny.
Shout out OG.
Shohei Ohtani is the greatest free agent in sports history. Soccer doesn't count because I just don't know enough about it, but prove me wrong. Who's a better free agent in history than Ohtani?
I don't know. I would have to look at, was LeBron ever, because he would just go those 1 year, 2 year, put pressure on the front office contracts.
He was a free agent, right? I'm taking my talents to South Beach kind of stuff.
Okay, so that free agent, LeBron going to Miami free agent, I think he just had 1 and 2 year gun to the GM's head contracts for most of his Cleveland Miami.
He's got to be up there for sure.
Michael wasn't really a free agent ever, right?
No, he would just re-sign with Chicago. Then he decided he was going to play in Washington for a couple of years when he was
So it's probably Shohei or when LeBron went to Miami, are the two best free agents ever.
Reggie White was a huge NFL free agent. That was one of the first big free agent dudes. There's some baseball history guys. The first one, I don't remember who that was.
Dylan Brooks is just a free agent. He got a lot of money, so he's probably a highly sought after.
Highly sought after. Anyway, it'll be interesting. Now there's all sorts of rumors. Oh, maybe Toronto's in on Chicago. It's going to be the Dodgers, right?
Maybe I haven't thought a ton about it because it's not baseball season. So yeah, that's why.
I'd like him to not play on the West Coast.
Not a conversation that people care to have. I will still be supporting Ohtani.
For sure. He's the GOAT.
Unfortunately, people don't care about Ohtani as much as they should.
They should. He's amazing.
I know.
I just need to shout out to a couple of people. I had knee surgery last Monday. That's important.
I wrote it down. I want your review. I just wrote down surgery review.
Okay, so I hurt my meniscus about 4 months ago. We played tennis on it, limped around. I was pretty decent laterally, but anytime I had to change direction in any way or stop, not very good. But did okay. But then finally we're okay, let's push. So I got to give out some shout out to Kevin and the Prison Rules crew for pushing me through and keeping me moving the last 4 months. Big shout out to Dr. McCaffrey, who is just a magician.
Yeah, that's the go. You've got 7 other shout outs, so keep going.
Yeah, Dante and the Longevity Gym. Dante's gym is popping. It's a great gym, and that's going to make me stronger than ever, so I'm going to be good.
Okay.
Some people call him Dr. Steve Radovich. I'm going to call him Dr. Sean Radmanovich. Inside joke. And then Fight
Two
Club.
people understood that, and
Yep.
I wasn't one of them, right?
That's okay. And Fight Club guys, you guys are going down. Just trust me. Listen to the show. Fight Club guys are going down. That's it.
Okay. I'll talk
Do you have
about
any
some more
surgery
important things.
content?
No, other than like, I guess we didn't talk
6
about
days
this.
in, I'm like
Yeah.
pretty good.
So I was going to a class, and he was getting driven back from surgery. So I'm like, I'm gonna go a little late to class. I'm gonna bring him in, and he was kind of out of it.
Oh, I was completely.
So
out
you
of it.
probably don't remember this. So I went to the car, and he's just like pale as a ghost, and just kind of like he's just like
I was in rough shape during that time. My body, this fella doesn't like the anesthetic so much.
No. So I'm like, I put my hand out to like carry him, and he just like he just couldn't acknowledge it, and I'm like trying to help him, right? Like in Scent of a Woman, when you have to walk Al Pacino and they have a conversation about like how to hold and who holds who kind of thing.
Yeah.
I was trying to have that, but you weren't really able to talk or think.
I don't remember much of that stretch.
So we got him in, and this is the worst. You won't remember this. This was the night after the Jets-Raiders Sunday night game, I believe. Or was it Monday night? Whatever. It was like the 9-6 game or whatever.
Yeah.
It was just an awful football game. When I set you up in the basement, I just turned on NFL Network, and they were replaying that game. So you had to watch that again. So I'm really sorry. I hope you don't remember that.
The nightmares. You know what? I did have some nightmares, but I couldn't really put it together.
Yeah.
Like
Jets Raiders.
Yeah, okay.
Zach Wilson game. So that was my surgery bit. So yeah.
Yeah,
good
thanks for
job.
your help. Sorry, I didn't remember that.
Okay.
Monday was a fog.
I got some more stuff here.
Go nuts.
Coloring, very underrated.
Coloring?
Coloring, for real.
You've been doing some coloring with your dogs?
Well, with the little cousins, I was watching them. They wanted to watch like TVs and movies. I'm like, no, let's do something. I'm like, how about color? I'm like, sure. So we printed Superman pictures and just colored for like an hour, and it was just great. And it's actually pretty cool.
Who won?
I had the best coloring, but
Did you? Good
but
job.
then one of them did Batman, and the Batman looked really good. It's just fun. It is pretty cool. So I support that.
It's the thing. Like, grown-ups are doing, like, coloring and paint by numbers and all that stuff a lot.
Yeah, I wouldn't pay for like a $300 coloring book. I just look up like Superman coloring for kids, and that's what we did.
And
it
buy
entertained us.
crayons for $3.99?
Yeah, Travis Scott. We're seeing Travis Scott in Detroit. That's a big deal.
Sweet.
Okay.
Okay.
J. Cole and Drake. They're touring in February.
J. Cole and Drake, you told me that was like Prince and Michael Jackson from 1986.
It's a big deal. Perhaps a little road trip, Cleveland, Columbus, Pittsburgh, to see J. Cole and Drake because they're not coming to Detroit.
I'm down with that. Drake. Ooh. Let's invite Urban Paul to that one. He'll be in on that.
Sure, yeah.
Okay. Urban, you're listening. Chime in.
Okay, and that's all I've got off the top. We'll talk about the Lions or Michigan. What did we say?
I just a couple more things.
Bruh.
We have Doran lined up for when? November 29th?
We'll have them next week. We'll make it work.
Okay,
I might
that's
be at the Pistons game because LeBron's in town. We'll figure it out.
Okay.
Dorn will be here.
We got to talk about the Lions. I mean,
go ahead.
So we get pretty vested in sports, as you can imagine, and the Lions were terrible today. Just, again, if you're just tuning in and it's like January 17th, it's the first episode you've ever listened to. One, where have you been for the first 114 episodes? And two, this is the day that the Lions came back against the Chicago Bears. 98.8% or percentage of Chicago winning the game.
I had that number.
Detroit came back and won. Goff was just chucking the ball away. 3 INTs. You could debate that one of them wasn't his fault, but he should have had at least one more, perhaps 2 more INTs. One a pick six. Like, would have been a 97-yard pick six, and he was right there.
Yep.
Listen, they've got issues. There's a song, I don't remember. I got issues, you got issues. They got issues. But they're 8-2. The last time they're 8-2, you know that, right?
1963?
1962. That's unbelievable. Like, I'm old. I get lots of gray hair. And I wasn't even born 7 years before the Lions were last 8-2. So awesome. Just a couple of things that are going to come out of that game. Hutch decided, I'm going to call game. The strip sack, awesome. And then he pushed the offensive lineman, got the safety, and then he punted the ball. And I don't know if you know that. 54-yard punt and 4.9 seconds of hang time.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
What else do you have?
Grit, don't quit.
Okay. I know. Yeah, that was the caption.
That was a caption.
I love that one. He talked about that for a few minutes.
Awesome. Amon-Ra, what a great game. Like, it's cool that you get to play against your brother Equanimous St. Brown. But
So you can't pronounce like Sam Laporta, but you can say that. I don't understand it. You called Sam Laporta Taylor today. He's like, throw it to Taylor.
Yeah, that was a little confused. I meant Taylor Decker was going to get a good block, and he did have a good block. But Amon-Ra, great
Senile.
game. Montgomery with a really good game. Offensive line, I don't think they get enough credit. Even with Jonah Jackson injured, they were solid today.
And no Jackson, no Vitae to reshuffle on like Thursday.
Vitae's done, right?
Yeah, he's done for the year. Yeah, Jonah Jackson.
But he's
should be
been
back
done
next.
most of the year. Good signing with Graham Glasgow.
Glasgow statistically has been one of the better like interior guys in football.
He's been great. Listen, they got holes, but they just keep winning. Bears play tough. We do need to give some credit to Justin Fields.
Yeah.
You want to talk about him a little bit?
Sure. I didn't write down at Fields.
Okay.
I'm higher on Fields than most, and that's not saying much.
Correct.
Right? Like I don't think Fields is very good. I think he's in the bottom probably 6 quarterbacks in football. Now it's tough to say because you have so many really like lower.
Yeah, I mean, if everybody
caliber
had their
quarterbacks.
starting quarterbacks, maybe.
So Justin Fields, you missed this. You were somewhere else. He did this big dance number. He got a big first down, kind of when the game was done, and did a really big dance number. And it was like I'll show you it. And that was when I'm like, okay, I would like to win now. Because I kind of tapped out for a while.
He completely tapped out. We moved the Lions game to one of the side screens. And then once they started coming back, we couldn't move it to the big screen because obviously that would be terrible karma.
Yeah, we had Red Zone on the big screen and then 12 minutes of Gladiator during halftime is what we did.
Yeah, well, Gladiator's prequel to...
Yeah, no point.
so we talked about that.
So Fields, I'll show you the dance. It just really pissed me off, and that's when I'm like, okay, let's get this guy. Respect for playing through the bleeding finger. That was cool. I'm
that was actually
for
pretty
that.
cool.
I always think that's cool. Goff, you talk about Goff. It was his worst game as a Lion before the final drive. Now the final drive was masterful and so good. It was just
two final drives are pretty good.
The two, but like the last one, it was like 11 plays, 70-something yards in 2 minutes, and just clean. It was awesome. Goff's worst game, I looked back, I don't know if you remember, Week 10, 2021 versus the Steelers. It was like a 16-16 tie. It was super ugly. I think he was dinged up. He was just awful that game.
Rings a bell.
This was kind of on tier with like the worst we'll see of Goff. This was his worst game, right? Bad sacks, seeing ghosts.
Listen, 4 turnovers and your quarterback having a bad game and you won? Okay, great. We'll take it.
Like my notes are relatively negative, and I didn't change them because I'm still like they played awful today, right? And the fact that they can still pull out a win when they play that terrible shows you something. They used to not win these types of games.
You used to always lose them.
Whenever they were in this type of game, they just lost, and I was just and that's why I was so ready to just like, okay, they lost, and this is the game, and they somehow pulled it out. Pass rush, that was a huge issue today. But like the final drive was awesome. You talked about the winning percentage. I was totally like, this game is done. Let's move on to Thursday. And they pulled it out. And we've got Jordan Love coming to our crib on Thursday. Let's take care of business. So that's all I got on the Bears game. Do you have anything else?
No. I think we should talk about the Chargers game just for a brief moment.
Sure, brief.
Offense on fire. Goff, Montgomery, Gibbs, and the Sun God. Offensive line was dominating. Defense, terrible. Just shows that they obviously should have picked somebody up at the trade deadline. Now 2 games in a row that just not enough pressure from somebody other than Hutch. And Hutch was all over the field today and last week. Like, sometimes he makes plays, but he is a disruptor. Alex Anzalone, he makes some plays, but the fact that he might be your second or third best defender, I guess I'm going to put Branch ahead of him. They just need more guys on defense. I'm just worried about how they're going to be long term.
Yeah, defense is a big issue. Anzalone has been great. He was awesome today. Not Laporta. Campbell did not have a good game today. Linebacker Campbell, not Coach Campbell. Gardner Johnson. I think
is there a chance that he's going to come back this year?
That's kind of what I sent you. Him reacting.
Yeah, that was pretty intense.
He was pretty upset at Justin Fields for the dancing, and there's lots of swear words in like a live stream that Gardner Johnson was on. Look, I think Gardner Johnson will come back. It will be limited fashion, and also because safety is not our issue right now. Really, it's really in cornerbacks.
Cornerback, defensive line.
Defensive line. Yeah, I'm just talking on the back end of the defense.
Yep.
Kirby Joseph, I trust, and 21 Savage, I trust. Right? Like, I have 2 really good safeties that I like.
Sutton's solid.
And then whatever you want to call Branch. If you want to call him a safety, you want to call him whatever.
He's a DW.
I don't know.
Defensive weapon. Good call. Good pull.
Brian Branch is him. He played great again today.
Awesome.
It's honestly like we're going to talk about sign stealing in a bit. Brian Branch might have his own sign stealing thing because he's in the backfield like every third play. It's unbelievable how good that guy is. So the Chargers game defense was awful. I don't have a ton to say on that game now. I'm just kind of thinking about the Chicago game. 'Cause that
Listen,
just
the
happened.
next few weeks are going to be very, very interesting. I'm a little worried about the Pastronaut. I didn't know much about him until you kind of cued me in. It's a great story. And as much as I want Minnesota to fall on their face, I have to, like, a little bit of me is going to cheer for Pastronaut. But I also think once people get some more film on him, they're going to scheme to make it harder for him to do the things that he likes to do. So
I
I'm
agree.
not worried about Minnesota. Though I think they play them 2 of the last 3 weeks, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct. Yeah.
Denver looked like a winnable game. We'll see. I mean, Russell Wilson's decided he's going to like play for a little bit, so I hope he gets tired of that soon. But not after tonight. I still want him to beat Minnesota tonight.
I agree. Yeah, Thursday, let's beat Green Bay.
Go Lions. Hey, grit don't quit. Let's just keep going.
All right, grit, don't quit. Respect.
Grit don't quit.
Okay, go ahead. Talk about Michigan.
Michigan versus the world. Now, here's the deal. What do we got? Detroit, always Detroit basketball. Detroit versus everybody. I hope Michigan uses this anger and this negative publicity against them for good motivation against Ohio State, because playing Ohio State this coming Saturday. Listen, did Michigan do some stuff? Sure. Rules that were relevant in 1985, they've been breaking them the last couple of years. So the Big Ten suspended Harbaugh for 3 games, basically when they were on the plane last week to go to Penn State.
Factually, that's fact.
Factually. It's about an hour plane ride, so they probably timed it quite well. And now they've got this game coming up against Ohio State. Listen, they beat the crap out of Penn State. They ran the ball 30 times in a row. I mean, they did throw it once, but it was a penalty, so it's officially not counted as a pass. Penn State, go home. They supposedly had the quarterback, who's poop, can't throw the ball downfield. Tough game against Maryland. Obviously, it was a trap game to his little brother. What's his name? Tulia.
Yeah, I don't know. Tagovailoa.
Yeah. Played pretty good. But listen, again, W's W, who cares? So they lost a couple points in the coaches poll. That's all bull crap anyways. Listen, Michigan, pull your stuff together, pull your anger together, pull your hate together, pull it all together, punch Ohio State in the neck, go to the championship. That's all that matters.
It's just an incredibly disorganized last 2 minutes here, so I'm going to try to get us back on track.
Pull it together. I got a little excited.
We briefly talked about everything, not really in order, and okay. We'll talk about the Harbaugh suspension here. This is just one of the reasons why I hate college football, because this stuff like this happens, and stuff like this does not really happen in the NFL, right? If you imagine if on the plane, let's say Belichick, it's not but it's a Pete Carroll, like it's one of those guys. Goodell suspended them for something that didn't really like their owner did something bad, kind of.
Deflategate.
So he gets suspended on the plane to the game, and they're like, you can't. It just wouldn't happen in the NFL. It just would not happen at a professional level. It's just petty. It's corrupt. It's just teaming up to take whoever's right. If Michigan had 6 wins this year, this isn't a thing.
Wouldn't matter. They'd laugh at it. It'd make a couple of like poster boards in East Lansing or Columbus. That's it.
Yeah. So it's only a thing because Michigan's this good, and I think most would agree with that. I feel like the Big Ten in college football should maybe focus on some other more serious issues that are going on, and I'll leave that at that. Past issues, current issues, whatever. There's a lot of bad stuff in college football.
Well, I have to look up the spread for the game this Saturday. Do you know the spread?
3.5. I have it.
Michigan's favored by 3.5?
Quit sleeping on me. Michigan minus 3.5. So back to the Harbaugh thing. The Big Ten admitting to having no connection to Harbaugh and then suspending him is just like absurd, and they're like, oh, because he represents the team. Well, maybe the school represents the team because the team goes to the school.
Suspend the athletic director.
Suspend the AD, fine the president. Like, there's just other things other than like, oh, because this guy's got a reputation. It is very frustrating, and I'm not even a massive Harbaugh guy. I'm a Michigan guy, and Harbaugh's my guy as long as he's a Michigan guy. It's pretty simple. Suspending him on the plane, like you said, that's just crazy behavior. Harbaugh said he found it on Twitter, right? Like, they didn't call him. He found it on Twitter.
That's weak sauce.
That's ridiculous. Leaving the Big Ten, thoughts?
Michigan leaving the Big Ten?
Yeah. Have you not heard any of this?
I have not heard any of this. No way. Never.
You didn't like it.
I
agree.
didn't hear about it, and it's never going to happen.
It won't happen. I would not be pissed if it happened.
What are they going to do? Go to the SEC?
There was like go to the SEC, make their own thing, call up Notre Dame, and join Fort. Like there's options. It won't happen. This Michigan leaked this headline the day after the suspension, or like the day after the Penn State win, I think.
It's actually not a bad idea just to spin it and say, really?
Because I
play
read
that
it.
game? Because this is just a game. Fine, we're going to leave. and we're going to play Notre Dame. We're going to play USC.
Just all these big money games and just do their thing with their own network, whatever.
Yeah, they'll play Duke as poop, but Duke's got a big fan base and they travel well. So
look, it won't happen.
Tennessee. It's actually not the worst idea in the world. Now
it's never going to happen. But I don't hate it. I have it's semantics. It's just I just want to watch football. I don't care what little patches on their jersey.
Think about NBC NBC's got the Irish, but ABC is going to say, or Fox is going to, or Netflix is going to say, we're carrying Michigan football games.
Sure. All I'm saying is not that it will happen, but when I read this headline, I'm like, I don't care.
I don't know why these big sports teams and organizations haven't reached out to us for some analytical assistance. We're there.
We should help Big Ten because they have no idea how to run a
have
commission.
No concept. It's a bunch of old white guys who are just eating their pudding and are clueless.
It's a bad look for the sport. It's very frustrating.
Pass me some more vanilla pudding,
okay,
Chester.
Stop. So that's all I got on the Harbaugh. That was the dumbest thing. I'm done with the Harbaugh suspension. We talked about Penn State. Very emotional win. Fell in love with Sean Moore with the post-game interview. Just loved it. Haven't loved the play calling past 2 weeks. You felt Harbaugh's absence. You really felt like, okay, that's... I don't really
Why is he
that.
just not in their ear calling the plays? That's got to be allowed.
It's definitely not allowed. And the Big Ten would make it not allowed.
So does he have a babysitter during the game?
Who?
Harbaugh. In the hotel?
Oh, probably. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Big Ten's got some Secret Service outside his door. Not actually, but I bet they're tracking him. I guarantee they're illegally tracking him.
I gotta go take a deuce. No, Jim, you gotta do it in front of us.
You talked about the Penn State buzz. Every year it's the same crap with Penn State.
I know.
Where it's
this is their year, best defense, and they finally got their quarterback, and they got two great running backs. I don't know if their quarterback can throw it more than 8 yards accurately.
I just every single year,
Alaire, something like that.
Every single year for as long as I can remember, it's just Penn State, and they'll go 10-2, and they'll beat 10 awful teams, and they'll get smoked by Michigan and smoked by Ohio State, and they're gonna get an awesome bowl game. And this is one of the reasons why I don't love this new 12-team college playoff, because Penn State's gonna benefit from this.
Exactly. There's a few teams that are gonna benefit from this, and Penn State, Notre Dame are one of the great examples of teams that are going to benefit from everybody coming in. 12, right?
I think it's 12.
Next year's first year then?
Yeah, I think so. Look, there's some things that I like about the 12-team thing, but part of it is Penn State is going to play 10 awful teams and lose to 2 good teams, the only 2 good teams they'll play, and they're going to get in the playoff, and I don't like that. I like the UCFs. Remember when they went undefeated?
Yes, University of Central Florida.
Yeah, this helps them. I don't want it to help Penn State, but it will.
Yeah, and that's fun. I like that.
So do I. Maryland, super ugly game. Super ugly last year, too. Pulled the win. That's all you have to do.
Yep, that's W. Fine. Cares.
Okay, that's all I got. Michigan, Ohio State, do you have any thoughts, or are we just going to,
Just win.
Yeah. Okay,
get all the guys you can come back on the sidelines to pump up that team. Get all the motivational speeches you can.
Not Connor Stallions.
Not Connor Stallions. Although, Big T, what's the booster?
I don't know.
Some guy who's on the rumor mills was paid Connor Stallions. Just beat Ohio State. Hick, mean guys, just go away.
They look beatable. Putting that out there, they've looked beatable all year.
They do look beatable. I mean, honestly, no college football team has looked spectacular. Even Georgia had some flaws, but they look pretty solid right now. Mm-hmm. Just beat them.
Just beat them. It's going to be ugly weather.
Is the weather going to be bad?
Ugly. It's right around freezing. There may be snow, maybe rain.
See, I think that benefits Michigan.
100%. And we said the same thing for the Stroud when we whooped them the first time a couple of years ago.
Yep.
Michigan, let's just win.
Oh, here's the nice thing. Hutch plays Thursday night, so he gets to go and be a party animal on the sideline for the Michigan game this Saturday.
Yeah, I didn't really think about that, but yes, Hutch should be there. Anything else on Michigan, Harbaugh, corrupt, NCAA?
What are you doing?
Maybe going. I have a ticket. I could sell it for a ridiculous amount of money, but I have a ticket.
How much?
I will 2.5 times what I paid.
Okay.
And I paid a lot, right?
Yeah.
But we'll see. We'll figure it out. I don't know. We'll see.
You can parlay that in a couple other pretty good things.
Correct. I could. But we'll see. We'll see.
Very interesting.
I'll keep you
Both teams undefeated. Whew.
Yeah. Okay. Do you have anything else on Michigan?
No, let's just chat a little bit about the NBA now.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so NBA is very entertaining. Uncle Phil, Uncle Brad had a good take about the tournament, the in-season tournament. Every morning he wants to wake up and have a nice little summary as to what's happened with the tournament. And I haven't really found that. I've paid a little bit of attention, but not a lot, because obviously the Pistons don't really do so well. I'm assuming that the best teams will do well. Minnesota, I know, is doing well so far in the tournament. who else is doing well.
I didn't know I was preparing the tournament.
But that's the point. You know sports more than 99.99% of the population.
Thanks.
And you don't really know much about the tournament.
Yeah, the tournament thing, I've kind of come around on it. Last time we talked about it, I was like, this is stupid. I don't like it. I just care about basketball, and this is taken away from that. And then it kind of turns into like, okay, well, some of the jerseys are cool. Okay, some of the courts are cool. Oh, there's going to be more fights because this matters a little bit more. And then now it transitioned to, like, whenever there's a tournament slate, the games are good matchups typically.
Yeah.
So now I'm all in on the in-season tournament. NBA Cup, let's go. First annual one, I love it. I was at one of the Pistons in-season games, and there was no difference. Like, they still sucked. But the court was nice, and the jerseys were cool. So
took me a little while to get used to the courts, but now I like them.
Some of them yes, some of them no. The Raptors dark one was awful. It looks cool when you just look at it on Instagram, but then when you watch the game, it's like, oh, I can't watch basketball.
I think Urban and Malachi were at that game.
I don't know how it was in person. I did not like it on TV. Same with like any blue courts. Blue basketball courts typically don't really work for me. I like anything. Like I let the Pistons one worked for me. I'll say that.
Pistons one was cool.
So you want to talk about some teams?
Yeah. So we're going to talk about. I'm going to talk about 2 Eastern Conference teams and 1 Western Conference team, and then Young Buck will do 2 Western Conference and 1 Eastern Conference.
Correct.
So first of them, the Detroit Pistons. This is a little tough. I would ask those with a weak heart just take a moment or 2 of silence and get yourself ready. Rebuilds are painful, and this is terribly painful right now. 4 years in, and Kevin Knox is starting. Killian Hayes has started the majority of the games. I don't know what Jaden Ivey did to somebody who's important, but please apologize. You got to start today, and I think you played okay. It's just, okay, a couple more things about the Pistons. Lots of questions about the roster. Lots of questions about the rotation. So I'm going to talk about the rotation questions right now. Why are Killian getting so much play? I don't understand, like, the matchups. Why not put Cade with shooters, right? Burks is a shooter. I know they've got Bogdanovich injured, but just for fun, roll out 4 guys who can shoot with Cade. Doesn't matter their height. Just give Cade a break because so much defensive attention is paid to him. They double team him all the time, and he's actually played pretty decent. His stats are okay. His turnover's a little high, and he still misses a few more threes than we would like, but he's going to get better. But he needs to be developing right now, and he does not have the team and the roster that can help him develop. And Jalen Duren, man, come back, please. What's his deal?
It was all really well said. That was good.
Thank you. I got a couple more points, but
keep going.
You go.
This saddens me, so keep
going. It does. Okay. Bagley, no outside shot, can't rebound, and he can't play D. Yet, James Wiseman is so much worse that Bagley gets the majority of the playing time over him. Yeah. Just bad. Wiseman, it was a little controversial. They picked him with the hope that he would prosper in Detroit. He's poop. Like, he scored some garbage time minutes today. Who cares? If you can't make the worst rotation in the league, get out of the league. Wiseman, go work at Starbucks. Just go. Really?
No, let him do media. Or like
media?
Yeah.
I guess he can go play in Europe and make some money.
Yeah, go to France and play with the Koulibaly family. There's options.
Yeah, so Stanley Umude, did I say that right?
Yeah.
And Kevin Knox, the fact that they're both in your rotation shows you how terrible it is. Although I kind of like Stanley.
So I like Knox as well.
Do you?
Yeah. Yeah, as much as I can like Kevin Knox in 2023, yeah.
He's been okay for 2.5 games, but he can't rebound. He really can't play D. He can hit the odd outside shot.
I'm aware of their shortcomings. Yeah.
Yeah. Please get better. Like, it doesn't matter if you have the worst record in the league or the 4th worst record in the league. Win some games, because I'm afraid this is going to be, like, the next couple of games are pretty tough. We're playing Denver tomorrow. We're going there.
Let's go.
Listen, please, just make it a run. Like, I like it when the Pistons were not good, but they've got young guys, and they're making it close and exciting. They're not fun and exciting right now. Get exciting. Get good. Try harder. Develop. Show us some future, because we believe in your future. Just show it to us.
I don't know. I did a couple weeks ago. It's been a really tough stretch for the Pistons.
I like Thompson.
I like Thompson too.
Yeah, like, I like Thompson on a good team. Problem is, he has to be the starter in the lineup who's the non-shooter, because everybody else has to shoot. Problem is, he's just one of 4 guys who can't shoot starting. That's bad.
I have lots of look. This is really, really because I really believed in a lot of these pieces, and I still do. But there's so many issues on so many different levels with the Pistons right now. It really makes me sad.
Current roster, they have 3 starters and a couple of bench players on the playoff team.
I don't like doing this just because it just reminds me like. I still will go all the time. I will still see 15 games this year. I will still be sneaking behind the bench. I mean, not sneaking. I will still be in the upper deck where my seat lies and watching from my.
No, Val and Isaiah might slide us some good seats to move down.
I'm just like it's incredibly like It's really hard for me to watch them now. I'm not even. I'm just watching them because it's like, oh, there's a basketball game on, and Cade is a player I like, and he's playing. It's just
we
sad.
both still look ahead and see who they're playing in next week.
Yeah, but it's
the next winnable game is against the Wizards. We both know that.
Yeah. Oh man, I hate the Wizards. Oh my. At least we're not Wizards fans because they're such a tough watch.
Yeah, they're a tough watch.
Thanks for okay. All right. At least we're not the Wizards, and Jordan Poole's not like our guy. At least we have Cade.
30 points. Okay. Toronto Raptors, a perplexing team. Had a good chat with Urban Paul today about them. Here's the funny thing: they got Pascal, they got OG, and they got Gary Trent. That are all free agents. Are they just going to run with what they've got? Be a 7 seed? Like real quick, Eastern Conference, better than Toronto at the end of the year. Boston, Philly, Milwaukee, Miami, Cleveland, the Knicks,
Pacers,
Indiana. And you could debate that
Orlando?
the Nets and the Hawks are going to be better than them
Did you
as
say
well.
Orlando?
I didn't say Orlando, but Orlando's also. So the Raptors' ceiling is the 7 seed, and 10 or 11 is most likely.
Yeah, I look at the Raptors in a similar way to how I look at Indiana, Orlando. I think they're better than those 2 teams, but I think they're in that, like, the Knicks. Yeah, I don't know. The Knicks are
they're in the playing gang.
Yeah, well, the Raptors, I criticized them last offseason or last deadline for holding on to OG and Pascal, and I criticized them when they held on to Scotty when they could have got KD. I don't really understand what's going on in Toronto. They've got
trade away Pascal, trade away Trent, keep
you're going to be selling
OG
low.
and
Like
Barnes.
I don't know. It's
but
just
better than nothing. What they get for Fred VanVleet? Cap space to sign Dennis Schroeder
and Jakob Poeltl. Very poor asset management. See, here's the difference between because if you're a Raptors fan, you're going to be like, you know what, Isaac? The Pistons suck. At least the Raptors are going to win more than 22 games. Okay,
sure. They're going to win 32 games rather than 22 games and not have good assets.
That's my thing. Asset management. The Raptors have assets to manage poorly. The Pistons really don't have a ton of assets to manage poorly at the moment. So that's kind of the 2 key differences between these 2 organizations right now.
Yep.
Toronto, very confusing team. I don't really understand what's going on. I do like a lot of their guys, but what's the goal? What's the goal? 7 seed play-in game versus the Heat. Is that the goal? I don't understand. That's what I got. What do you have? Anything else?
That's it on the Raptors. I think. Listen, I want the Raptors to do well. I like Toronto's a great basketball city, but you need to get your stuff together.
Okay.
Front runner. Yeah, I know. Bandwagon.
Was it a great basketball city like 8 years ago?
Actually, when they had Damon Stoudemire when they first started, they actually got pretty excited.
Okay, 20 years ago. 20 years ago was a basketball city. And then it wasn't for a very long stretch.
Then it wasn't for a long stretch.
Like the Mo Pete era and like
that was a little rough.
Didn't they have Calderon for a while? The Bargnani era.
Bosch left.
Come on, I'm just saying. At least I don't.
Yeah, they had a lot of big white guys who were not very good that they drafted high.
Yeah, I'm still a Pistons fan no matter what.
Okay.
Miami Heat. We're gonna talk a little bit about.
Talk about the Miami Heat.
So I've had
zombies.
Up and down relationship with Miami. They're 8-5. They're 5th in the East. They had a big win streak. They lost the other night to Chicago. I'm still pretty involved in Heat Twitter because of Jimmy, right? So I'm very much in the loop on what Heat fans are saying. And Heat fans have come up with this thing called the power of friendship. And that's just what they're accrediting every win to. They're just like, it's just vibes. It's the power of friendship. It's K-Love and Duncan Robinson. They're like best friends now. It's just friendship. Jimmy and Bam, friendship. That's the only reason they're winning games.
That's so funny.
So every time there's a good thing, it's like, oh, you know what? Like
it's the power of friendship.
Friends. So like as soon as Zach LaVine came, I'm not like he's not going to go to Miami. I'm not. I don't care.
He might.
No, there's no. Sure, just like Beal and Dame and Yon. I'm not playing that game again. The power of friendship. I don't know if LaVine fits in with the power of friendship. He might not be on the team. That was everyone is what they just said. He's like, I don't know if he fits with our friends.
That's good.
So Bam and Duncan Robinson both individually look the best I've ever seen them. And that's a large reason why Miami's good. Jimmy is still a top 5 player in the NBA when he wants. You can call me nuts for saying top 5. I get it. All I'm saying is who's doing what he did in the finals. Who's doing what he did? Like, can we play this game again?
Sure.
Okay, who's doing what he's done in the past 2 finals he's been in? Or the Eastern Conference when
Jokic.
Yeah.
Giannis.
Yeah.
Steph.
I've seen it from all 3 of those guys.
KD.
Okay. Yeah, KD's playing great ball.
Yeah. Here's where actually it gets tougher. Like Tatum theoretically has a talent, hasn't proven
I've
it.
not seen that from Tatum in the past 6 years.
Yeah. Embiid has the talent. He's got to stay healthy.
Not seen it. Kawhi, I saw it, but
he hasn't been healthy for 5 years. So until you can
Shea,
play,
I haven't seen it from Shea yet.
I haven't seen it from Shea
I
yet.
think I will.
But that's a good guess. Luka,
I kind of borderline saw it, so I'll give you Luka.
So, but either way, he's like 5 to 8 or 9.
In the sense of like a win or go home.
Yes.
Who do I trust?
Yeah, not for a franchise, not for a whole season. Just like, okay, need to win a series. What do I got?
And Jimmy has shown that he's had a couple of ridiculous like high efficiency games where he's just like toying with the opponent. Miami, fun group. They're not going to make any noise. They're
Power of friendship.
Power of friendship.
Is that tied to the Dan Campbell?
Not at all.
Lead caps?
Not at all.
Could be.
No.
Same culture, right? Heat culture.
But I'd like to say Miami's not winning it. Like, I don't want people to think I think Miami's good. No, I don't think Miami's that good.
They're just
It's just vibes.
punching above their weight.
Hence the power of friendship. It's just good vibes in Miami right now.
Okay.
We'll talk about the West here. Who's your Western Conference team you want to talk about?
Denver Nuggets.
Okay, that's such a boring... Okay, go ahead.
Dude, listen, I think... Here's the problem. Because Jokic is like not a dunker guy, not highlights... Like, I mean, his highlights are amazing, but he's not a great athlete. I don't think he gets the credit that he deserves for being far and away the best player on the planet.
Fact.
Like, he should have won MVP again last year.
Fact.
He's going to be MVP this year. Like, he's like, it's him and then the field. Like, I don't know what the bets are, but I would pick him over the field right now.
Probably. Yeah, he's been great.
Awesome. Jamal Murray, who's an all-star, who's an awesome player, is injured, and they'll start playing great. They've got a big lineup. They're deep. They're so much fun to watch. They move really well without the ball because their superstar is so unselfish. Like Reggie Jackson, who's poop.
Come on now.
They picked him up for nothing, like a buyout. He's playing well. Why? Because Gordon and KCP and Porter, because they just move the ball around well, and they've got a great lineup. Christian Braun, that's his name.
It's actually Brown.
Brown.
Yeah,
Okay.
it looks like Braun.
Yeah, he's solid. He's stepping up a little bit. They get another rookie who's pretty good.
You got a rookie, the second-year guy that's now playing Watson. Denver's awesome.
Denver's so good, and I don't think partially, obviously, Denver's not a big market city, but also he's a big, slow guy, and he just doesn't get the credit for being amazing. His efficiency is awesome. He's 30, 14, and 9. Plus, he gets a couple blocks and he gets some steals.
Yeah.
Amazing. Give him some credit.
We're going to see him in person tomorrow. That will be very cool.
That'll be really cool. Oh, I need to give shout out to Youngblood. Last Saturday, he was going to... Where were we going? You're watching a game.
It was Tuesday.
Oh, it's Tuesday. See Atlanta.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I was still a little drug induced.
Yeah, it was a few days there that you didn't
And
get.
he's like, I'm going to Lake Town. You know, yeah, give me some shoes. Give me some court shoes. I can like play tennis in them and whatever. And so I think he must have gone upstairs, talked to Danielle, and Danielle's like, okay, great. Here's a credit card. Get him some shoes. He needs them because my tennis shoes are worked up pretty hard. Thanks, Kevin. Comes back with nice KDs.
Yep.
For $30.
Yep.
That's solid.
Yeah, him.
Yeah, Nike store. It's awesome. How did you go? You take the tunnel to the Nike store. Hashtag take the tunnel.
Yeah, shout out to Tunnel.
Shout out Tunnel.
Great service.
1930.
Okay. I got a couple Western Conference teams I want to talk about.
Please do.
Okay, first place Minnesota Timberwolves.
They're good.
Okay, 9-3, they're first
Hate
in the West.
Gobert, but love Ant.
So my bit there is the in-season tournament, it's theirs. They would be my pick. They would be my pick.
They're playing great.
So Anthony Edwards is in the conversation for the best American player on the planet.
Yep.
Right? So it has been Steph for a very long time.
KD.
Steph, KD.
Embiid.
Whatever he is technically, right?
Cameroon, France.
Yeah.
No, hey. U.S.
Yeah, seriously. Tatum is supposed to be... Ant-Man is on another level, and he's just like... He's 2 years away from his prime?
Yeah.
Theoretically?
Is he 21, maybe?
I don't think he's 21. I think he's probably 23. I don't think he's 21.
22. I'm going 22.
Okay. Definitely not 21. That's absurd. So you've got Anthony Edwards, who's just making this huge leap. Gobert, who we've been very critical of. Sorry, Carson Sadler. Gobert's been good, really good defensively. Towns, finding his way as the power forward, the slowest power forward in basketball. He's finding his way. Jaden McDaniels, how old is Anthony Edwards? He is
22.
Again, you said 21 and I said no.
But then I clarified 22.
Okay.
With authority. Respect my authority.
Okay. McDaniels is all defense. Connolly, Anderson, Naz Reid. You've got all these guys.
You love Naz Reid.
That's one of my fantasy team names. I love Naz Reid. Minnesota is awesome. They're a lot of fun to watch. They're slow. They're different, but they mesh really well. And everyone's friends now. They weren't really friends.
Towns playing D?
Not really.
Okay.
But like they're doing lots of funny matchup stuff and with the non-shooters, and they have the bigs to put on Jokic, as we saw in the playoffs. All I'm saying, Minnesota, very, very watchable these days. Shout out Minnesota.
Okay.
I'll talk about the OKC Thunder.
I knew you were talking about OKC.
So they're 9-4. They're fourth in the West. Shea, he's a top 5 guy in basketball. He's first team All-NBA last year. He's just going to be first team All-NBA this year. He added more to his bag. I watched him a ton in the summer.
He's just getting to whatever spot he wants to and making a shot, or he has to draw attention and dishing it.
He's a great playmaker. I watched him a ton for Team Canada. He's added a step back 3. I saw bits of it in the summer, and I see it now. A little too much sometimes, but that's okay. I trust him as much as anyone in the NBA. That's what I wrote down. I trust him so much with the ball to get his spot and either get to the free throw or get a good shot for somebody.
Yep.
Chet's perfect for this team. He fits really, really well.
Stretch 5, awesome.
He's got to shave. He's got to clean up the look, but Chet is really, really good at this team.
No, cousin Colin cleaned up. Chet can clean up too.
Respect.
Yep.
Jalen Williams, excellent player. I don't love Giddey long term here, but that's not really the conversation I'm going to have here. But Giddey's a really good piece right now for
Dortcher Chamber, you like him?
Love Lou Dort. Lou Dort's been awesome this year. He's been really good this year. The OKC Thunder, they're a lot of fun to watch. I get not a lot of people watch them. If you're Canadian and you like shit, just watch Thunder for a game, and it's really, really good ball.
Okay, so here's one of the things that Isaac has kind of queued me up, and most of the listeners of the show know this. There's like 5-minute videos that show all the good plays of pretty much everything you ever want to watch. Go and watch those.
Yeah, I'd be lying if sometimes during class, like if it's a little slow, it's like, Jazz Thunder? Okay, there's 10 minutes, right? Like sometimes that happens, and Jazz, like that's an exact Jazz Thunder. I'm there.
And the people around you know.
Yeah. Well, the volume's
like not
off.
your buddies, but
yeah. There's
are
that
you listening?
Guy. No.
Oh,
I don't.
Okay. No, that's not bad.
I'll do the split screen. I'll have notes on half screen, basketball on the other. It's actually brilliant.
Yeah, Windows.
Yeah, it's
arrow key.
It's kind of him. Don't even worry about it. But watching lots of hoops, 10-minute game summaries. Watch Shea, watch Thunder, watch Minnesota. That's what I got.
Okay. Are you doing an Eastern Conference team?
I talked about Miami. Power of friendship.
Oh, got it. Okay, perfect. So coming up to Doran, I have a question for the fans. Is anybody watching the Grey Cup? I think I'm going to give the over/under 0.5.
Over.
Taking over?
Because
our fans.
I'll bet on it and I'll watch them.
Okay, that's fair enough.
Respect.
Thanks for chiming in. Listen to us on like Instagram and Spotify, and actually don't listen on Instagram, but just follow us and tell your friends about us. We are the #1 sports podcast in Windsor, Essex County. You heard it here right first. Boo, boo, boom, pop, pop. Okay, thanks everybody. Have a good night.